Good afternoon. As we begin a new year, this is an opportune time to discuss the state of the island's roadways, our ongoing plans to address them, and the wider roadway activities. I will begin with the ministry's current paving projects. However, let me first say that I am well aware of the state of our roads as a daily user of them and a regular receiver of public complaints. I too am quite weary of the work that is being carried out and the time it is taking. But in the end, it will be well worth it. Let me remind the public, though, that notice was first given back in 2021 when Belco began their $250 million underground cabling exercise. Since that time, we have had COVID-19, followed by supply chain delays in the delivery of piping and other supplies that have added to the delays. So where are we now? Asphalt paving has occurred along Harrington Sound Road to Flats and the southern lane of Flats to Scaur Hill. The northern lane is delayed while we await some underground cabling from one of the service providers. Once that is done, the northern lane will be paved. Paving commenced on Middle Road in Warwick at the substation last month, heading west to Warwick Pond. This area had previously seen pole holes dug and cables pulled so that both lanes could be paved. Concurrently, Belco has recommenced their joint hole and cable pulling works in Middle Road in Warwick, and we anticipate them to reach Camp Hill Junction by late February, early March. From Camp Hill, they will then proceed down Middle Road to Lighthouse Road, aiming to complete the joint hill work by late March or early April. Presently, the government team is paving from Scaur Hill to Somerset Bridge. This will include the full reinstatement of the use of Somerset Road, where the wall has been replaced. We anticipate continuing on this route through February, after which the government team will then move to Georges Bay Road and pave to Evans Bay, paving both lanes. This work is scheduled to conclude in March 2025. To assist the ministry in accelerating paving efforts, Eastern Asphalt Limited has been retained to pave the following areas in February and March: a portion of Loyal Hill in Devonshire, Floridaffy Lane from Cavendish Road to Crow Lane Junction in Devonshire. There is presently $1 million in this year's budget for contracting work to Eastern Asphalt, so more private road paving will be carried out before year end. I now quickly move to the ministry works for improving the safety of our roadways. I'm pleased to say that patching works have been expedited utilizing weekend crews when the need has arisen. As soon as potholes are reported to our highways section at potholes@gov.bm, we immediately action them and will continue to do so. I'm also pleased to announce that Brighton Hill will, in between Middle Road and Watlington Lane East and Devonshire, will be closed on February 13th and 14th for the installation of speed bumps, additional signs, and restripping work. Additionally, Church Road in Southampton will be assessed for the installation of speed bumps by spring 2025. Turning to the junction at Marsh Folly and St. John's Road in Pembroke, the control panel for the traffic lights is currently being manufactured by our overseas vendor. A similar situation exists for the traffic lights on Crow Lane. The needed parts are being manufactured, and we anticipate the arrival of these units on island by summer 2025. With regard to road fencing, as the public may have seen, fencing crews are steadily progressing with repairing of the wooden fences along North Shore Road from Barker's Hill through to Flats Village, and will continue to do so throughout the month of February. Additionally, the Cabinet has just approved the purchase of new aluminum highway guardrails similar to ones found around John Smith's Bay in Smiths Parish and Happy Valley Road in Pembroke. These guardrails are used to protect road users from hazards, dangerous situations, and areas. The areas identified for guardrail installation are high-risk locations at Scaur Hill Bend in Harrington Sound Road and Barker's Hill, Devonshire, near the existing roundabout. The ministry is awaiting the delivery of these new assets from the manufacturer. I'm happy to advise that the ministry has hired an additional 14 new solo sweepers, bringing the total to 21 to work in conjunction with the ministry's highways crew. These individuals have provided great improvements throughout the island in clearing vegetation along our roadways, rock cliffs, and sidewalk surfaces. Pedestrian safety is also a priority for this government. Our yearly order of flashing crosswalk beacons arrived last week. Installation will commence immediately with the replacement of the aquarium flashing beacons. They will be replaced with a standard continuous green light with an activation red light for pedestrians to cross. This unit will also have advanced yellow flashing beacons installed, similar to the ones currently at the railway trail crossing at Harmony Club in Paget. I have been the first to admit that the government's physical assets are aging and are not up to par. The unreliability of these machines, the asphalt plant and asphalt miller in particular, caused the asphalt teams to slow their production and delivery. So what is the status of the new asphalt plant and associated equipment? We have a multi-million-dollar agreement with Aztec Industries, a leading provider of asphalt plants and paving equipment in the United States, to provide a new plant, a new screening plant, replacement asphalting paving equipment, and maintenance support to government. I can advise that the new road paving equipment has been manufactured and pre-delivery inspections are ongoing. 3 pieces of paving equipment have been purchased: a new asphalt paver, a new milling machine, and a shuttle buggy material transfer vehicle. They are currently in Chattanooga, Tennessee, awaiting delivery to Bermuda. The shipping arrangements are ongoing, and based on the expected time estimates, the equipment should arrive in Bermuda by April. The new aggregate screening plant has been manufactured and ready for pre-delivery inspection as well. The plant consists of a hopper feeder unit, 2 screening units, and 8 conveyor units. 2 complete conveyor units arrived in Bermuda in December and are being stored under cover at the quarry. The remaining equipment is ready to ship, and it is currently being stored in South Dakota, waiting delivery to Bermuda. The shipping arrangements are ongoing as well as the asphalt plant site works contract, and based on the expected time estimates, the site should be ready to receive the equipment in Bermuda by October 2025. Additionally, the new asphalt plant has been manufactured and is ready for pre-delivery inspections also. The plant consists of the hoppers, silos, aggregate bins, control equipment, burners, and tanks in order to produce high-quality asphalt. The majority of this equipment is being stored in Chattanooga, Tennessee, waiting delivery to Bermuda. There are 10 40-foot containers still to be shipped directly from India to Bermuda to complete the list of ordered items. The shipping arrangements are ongoing, and based on the expected time estimates, the equipment should arrive in Bermuda in June 2025 and installed directly on their foundations. The current estimated asphalt plant handover date is January 2026. But as with all construction projects, unforeseen circumstances may occur which can cause this date to be pushed back. However, again, I am sure the ministry will keep the general public informed. I hope this update provides all with a clear understanding of the current situation and the plan going forward. We are fully committed to continuing to address the dreadful state of our roads. Let me end where I began by thanking all road users for their patience and understanding. We will continue our efforts to advance the paving of our roads. Thank you.
Thank you for your briefing, Minister. Right now, we're going to open it up to questions from the media, beginning with BBC.
Good Good afternoon, Minister.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your remarks this morning, and we appreciate the update on the asphalt plant. When we last spoke, you mentioned that there were some environmental concerns or challenges at the site. How has that impacted the timeline?
So it has delayed progress as we carry out those inspections, and that's why we're like 6 months behind schedule. But that work is ongoing, and we're working through some of the challenges at the quarry.
Okay. And an issue of concern to residents has been the lack of the yellow painted center line where
Yes.
roads have been repaved. Can you give us an update on when that might occur?
So I can't give you an update of when, I can give you an update of how. So the vehicle that does that, that's a truck that puts the paint on the roads, has been out of service for more than a year. We've ordered a new one, and I don't know when it's arriving.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll invite the Royal Gazette.
Minister, good afternoon. Gareth Finnegan,
Yeah.
Royal Gazette. Just a couple of questions, really. First of all, I think it was at the start of the current financial year, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think your ministry had, was it $5 million set aside for road surfacing?
That's
$5
correct.
million. And now that we're coming to the end of the financial year, has that money all been spent now, pretty much?
So we're at about 3/4, and we'll be slightly more than that by the end of the financial year. So there'll be about $400,000 left.
Okay. And can you tell me how much of that $5 million has been spent specifically on pothole repairs, or is that not sort of counted in?
I don't think that could be estimated. What happens is, currently as well as previously, is that when there's a lot of rain, as soon as there's a good day, they load up 2 trucks with asphalt from the plant, from the mixture that's produced for road paving, and they drive around the country filling potholes.
Could you say, in terms of mileage, exactly how much road surface has been repaired in the past year?
I don't have that figure with me.
Okay. And just one final question. You referred to the pothole hotline that you set up for people to notify you. And it's always sort of been said that the pothole issue is an ongoing problem that, you can't win. As like you say, as soon as you fill one, another one pops up, kind of thing. But do you think over the course of the past year you have made inroads, pardon the pun, or progress in reducing the number? Has the number of calls that you've had in or complaints from people complaining about potholes, has that traffic reduced in the past year?
It has tapered off somewhat. It tends to fluctuate. When there's rain, you can expect for an uptick in calls. I live in the West, and so all of the potholes that I see, I report through the email address as well. And then I'm able to see if the message has gotten through when I drive home, and they're either fixed or they're not. And if they're not, they get another email. And so I think that it works. One of the things that we've done to improve the response from the email is that people say, we don't get a response, we don't get an acknowledgement. There is an automatic acknowledgement now that the information has been received. Both the principal highways engineer, the PS, and myself receive a printout every week of all of the locations that have been reported and what the outcome is. In some of those instances recently, the recommendation is that the challenge is not going to go into the roads repaved. And so there is that recommendation. They've done the potholes, but the real recommendation and the real solution is to completely repave the roads.
Minister, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, members of the media, and thank you, Minister, for your presentation. That concludes today's briefing.